Airlines charge you for everything now. Seat selection, bag fees, extra legroom, priority boarding, snacks, Wi-Fi. They have turned every single part of the flying experience into something they can bill you for. But here's what they don't advertise. There is a whole list of things you can get completely free on almost any flight, just by knowing what to ask for and how to ask for it. Not tricks, not loopholes, not anything that bends the rules, just things that exist, that are available, that flight attendants and gate agents are absolutely allowed to give you, but that airlines have zero incentive to tell you about because most passengers simply never ask. I've been researching this for a while, and I'm going to give you 12 of them today. Some of these are small. Some of them will genuinely improve your entire flight experience. And number 9 is one that I think is going to surprise almost everyone watching this. Let's get into it. Before we get into it, if this is your first time here, welcome. This channel is dedicated to one thing, making sure you never leave money on the table or get caught off guard at the airport. Hit subscribe and the notification bell so you catch every video. I post every 2 days and every video is practical, no fluff, straight to the point. All right, free thing number 1, a full can of soda or juice. Let's start with something simple that almost nobody does. When the flight attendant comes around with the drink cart and you ask for a Coke or a ginger ale, they pour you a small cup and move on. But that can, it's yours. You can ask for the full unopened can and most flight attendants will hand it over without hesitation. Airlines train crew to pour partial servings by default to manage supply across the flight. But there is no rule that says you can't have the whole thing. All you have to do is ask. Could I get the whole can, please? That's it, 4 words. And now you have twice as much drink that you didn't pay extra for. This works on most major carriers: Delta, United, American, Southwest. Budget carriers like Spirit or Frontier may charge for drinks altogether, so this applies specifically to flights where beverages are included. Small win, but it's yours if you ask. Free thing number 2, a seat change after doors close. This one can completely change your flight experience, especially on a long haul. Once the aircraft doors are closed and the boarding process is complete, any empty seat on that plane is fair game. You do not have to pay to move to a better seat. You do not have to ask permission in advance. The seat is empty, the flight is departing. That upgraded economy seat with extra legroom that was $45 during booking, it's just an empty seat now. The right move is to wait until the seatbelt sign turns off after takeoff, then politely ask a flight attendant if it's okay to move to an empty row or a better seat. Most flight attendants will say yes. Some will even point you to the best available spot. The key word is politely. You are asking, not demanding. And you are waiting until after takeoff, not jumping seats during boarding, which disrupts the weight and balance check and will get you moved back immediately. After takeoff, polite ask. Empty seat is yours. This works best on flights that are less than 80% full. Window seat in an empty row, armrest up, blanket out, full row to yourself. Free thing number 3, extra snacks. If your flight includes a complimentary snack service, pretzels, cookies, crackers, peanuts, whatever it is, you are allowed to ask for more. Flight attendants carry a full service cart with more product than they expect to distribute. The standard serving is 1 unit per passenger, but most flights don't run out, and a simple, "Excuse me, is there any chance I could grab an extra bag of pretzels?" will get you a yes almost every single time. On longer flights with multiple snack services, this becomes even easier. On some international or transcontinental flights where a full snack basket is passed through the cabin, you can take more than 1 item. Nobody is counting, nobody is monitoring. The crew wants to get through the aisle efficiently. If you're traveling with kids, this one is especially useful. Extra snack bags distributed quietly before the hunger meltdown happens is one of the most underrated parent travel hacks in existence. Free thing number 4, a pillow and blanket on domestic flights. Most people assume pillows and blankets are only available in business or first class. That is not always true. On many domestic flights, particularly longer routes, airlines stock a limited number of pillows and blankets in economy class. They are not put out automatically. They are not advertised. They are stored in overhead compartments or in the galley area at the front or back of the plane. The passengers who get them, the ones who ask. Before the flight reaches cruising altitude, ideally during boarding or just after takeoff, ask a flight attendant, "Do you have any pillows or blankets available in economy?" If they have them, and on many flights they do, you'll get one. If you're on a red-eye or an overnight flight especially, this is worth asking every single time. A real pillow and a blanket versus trying to sleep against a cold window with the rolled up jacket is a completely different experience. 2 words change that. Free thing number 5, a wing seat upgrade at the gate. This is one of the most consistently overlooked free upgrades available to any traveler on any airline in 2026. Gate agents have the ability ability to move passengers to better economy seats, including exit rows, bulkhead seats, and seats with extra legroom at no charge. They do it regularly, not because they're required to, but because they have the authority to, and because they are dealing with hundreds of passengers in a flight that needs to board smoothly. The approach matters enormously here. Do not go to the gate agent and demand a better seat. Do not complain about your current assignment. Walk up during a quiet moment, not during the boarding rush, and say something like, "Hi, I just wanted to ask if there are any better seats available that I might be able to move to. No problem at all if not." Calm, friendly, zero entitlement. A gate agent who has spent 6 hours dealing with demanding passengers will respond very differently to someone who approaches with genuine politeness. Exit rows and bulkhead seats have the most legroom on the plane. Some of them retail for $40 to $80 extra at booking, and sometimes they are yours for free, if you just ask the right person in the right way. Free thing number 6. Compensation for a broken seat or screen. If you board a flight and discover that your seat is broken, won't recline, stuck in recline, broken armrest, or your in-flight entertainment screen doesn't work, you are entitled to compensation. Not legally entitled in every jurisdiction, but by airline policy on virtually every major carrier. Most passengers say nothing. They just sit in a broken seat for 4 hours and complain about it on social media afterward. The passengers who speak up during the flight walk away with something. What you can get: frequent flyer miles added to your account, usually 2,500 to 10,000 miles, depending on the airline. A travel credit toward a future booking. On longer international flights, a partial refund of the fare difference between what you paid and the functioning seat class. To get this, tell a flight attendant as soon as you discover the issue. Be specific, be calm, be factual. "My seat won't recline and the entertainment screen isn't working. Is there anything the airline can do for me on this flight or after I land?" That question, asked politely, puts the request on record. Follow up with the airline's customer service within 24 hours of landing with your flight details. In 2026, most airlines process these requests online. The credits or miles often arrive within a week. Free thing number 7. A meal or voucher during a long delay. When a flight is significantly delayed due to something within the airline's control, a mechanical issue, a crew scheduling problem, an operational decision, many airlines are required by their own policy to provide meal vouchers or food credits to affected passengers. This is not always advertised at the gate. The gate agent will not always come out and announce, "Please come collect your meal vouchers." You have to ask. If your flight has been delayed by 2 hours or more due to an airline controllable reason, walk to the gate desk and ask directly, "Is the airline providing any meal vouchers given the delay?" In 2026, the DOT's new airline passenger rights rules have pushed more carriers toward proactive compensation. But enforcement varies, and many airlines still only provide it to passengers who ask. Voucher amounts typically range from $10 to $20 for airport food and drink. On longer delays at connecting hubs, some airlines will also provide hotel accommodation vouchers if you're stuck overnight due to a missed connection caused by an airline delay. Again, you have to ask. The voucher does not come to you. You go to the counter and ask for it. Free thing number 8. Extra water throughout the flight. This one sounds obvious, but most travelers don't do it. The air inside a commercial aircraft cabin is extremely dry, typically around 10 to 20% humidity. Normal indoor air humidity is around 30 to 50%. This means that for every hour you're in the air, your body is losing more moisture than it would on the ground. Dehydration on a flight contributes to fatigue, headaches, swollen legs, and jet lag. And the solution is free. You can ask for water at any point during the flight, not just during the drink service, not just when the cart comes by, at any time. Walk to the galley at the back of the plane and politely ask a flight attendant for a cup of water. Most crews will fill it for you immediately. Some flights have a self-service water station in the galley that passengers can use freely between service rounds. On flights of 3 hours or more, aim for at least 1 full cup of water per hour. That's it. And if you want to go one step further, ask for a full bottle of water when the service begins. On many flights, especially international, crew will hand over a full sealed bottle rather than refilling small cups repeatedly. Free thing number 9. A cockpit visit after landing. This is the one I mentioned at the beginning. The one that surprises almost everyone. After landing, once the aircraft has reached the gate and the seatbelt sign is off, you can ask a flight attendant if it's possible to briefly visit the cockpit and meet the pilots. Since 9/11, cockpit visits during flight are not permitted. That rule is absolute and will never change. But after the flight has landed and is at the gate, many pilots, particularly on shorter regional routes, are happy to invite passengers in, answer questions, and let you see the flight deck up close. This is especially memorable if you have children with you. Pilots are often genuinely happy to spend a few minutes talking to curious kids about flying. The right way to do this: ask a flight attendant first. Never approach the cockpit door directly. Say something like, "If the pilots aren't rushed, would it be possible for my son or daughter to briefly say hello?" Some flights, particularly busy ones at major hubs, pilots have another turn to prepare for immediately, and the answer will be no. But on regional flights, quieter routes, and leisure destinations, it happens more often than you might think. It costs nothing. It's worth asking. And if the answer is yes, it is genuinely unforgettable. Free thing. Number 10. Early boarding for hidden reasons. Most travelers assume early boarding is exclusively for elite status members and first class. That is not true. There are several categories of passengers who qualify for early boarding on almost every major airline, and many of them don't realize it or don't ask. Active military personnel in uniform early boarding, almost always, no questions asked. Passengers with any physical difficulty, mobility limitation, or medical condition. Early boarding is available at the gate. You do not need to show documentation at the gate. You simply need to inform the gate agent. Travelers with young children or infants in arms, families with children under a certain age, qualify for early boarding on most carriers. Passengers who are nervous flyers, this one surprises people. If you tell a gate agent quietly that you experience flight anxiety, many agents will allow you to board early so you can settle in before the crowd. Not every agent will accommodate this, but many will. And early boarding means overhead bin space directly above your seat. Time to settle without the rush. Time to ask for that pillow and blanket before everyone else does. All of these benefits start with the same thing: going to the gate agent before boarding begins and asking. Free thing. Number 11. A written apology or service recovery gesture. Every major airline has a service recovery policy. What that means is when something goes wrong on your flight through no fault of your own, the airline has a budget and a process for making it right. Rude crew member, broken overhead bin, missed connection due to airline error, food service that ran out before reaching your row, a flight so turbulent that you spilled your drink. These are all situations where if you calmly and specifically describe the problem to the airline after your flight, you will in many cases receive something in return. Miles, travel credits, a formal apology letter, an upgrade priority note on your account. The way to do this in 2026 is through the airline's customer feedback portal online. Most of them have a dedicated service recovery form. Be specific. Include your flight number, date, seat number. Describe what happened clearly and without exaggeration. State what you would like as a resolution. Be reasonable. Don't ask for a free flight because your pretzels were stale. But if your experience was genuinely below standard, you are not complaining. You are giving the airline an opportunity to make it right. And most of them will, because keeping you as a customer costs far less than finding a new one. Free thing number 12. A lounge pass when your flight is severely delayed. This last one is the one that can turn the worst travel day into something almost manageable. If your flight is severely delayed, we're talking 3 hours or more due to an airline controllable issue. Some airlines will issue temporary lounge passes to affected economy passengers. This does not happen automatically, and it does not happen at every airport or every airline, but it does happen. And the only way to find out is to ask. When you know your flight is facing a significant delay, go to the gate agent or the airline's customer service desk in the terminal and say, "Given the length of this delay, is the airline offering any lounge access for affected passengers?" At certain airports, particularly major international hubs, airlines have dedicated holding areas or partner lounges that they can grant access to during extended irregular operations. Inside those lounges, free food, free drinks including alcohol at many of them, comfortable seating, charging stations, showers in some, Wi-Fi, quiet environment. Compared to sitting on an airport floor next to a charging outlet eating an $18 sandwich you didn't want a free lounge pass is a completely different experience. Will it work every time? No. Will it work if you never ask? Also no. Ask every single time. The worst answer is no, and you're already in the situation anyway. Let's run through all 12 one final time. Fast. 1. Ask for the full can of soda. 4 words. 2. Wait until after takeoff and ask to move to a better empty seat. 3. Ask for extra snacks. They almost always say yes. 4. Ask for a pillow and blanket before cruising altitude. 5. Approach the gate agent politely before boarding and ask for a better seat assignment. 6. Report a broken seat or screen during the flight and follow up for miles or credit after landing. 7. If you're delayed by the airline's fault, ask the gate agent for a meal voucher. 8. Ask for water anytime throughout the flight. Walk to the galley. They will give it to you. 9. After landing, ask if a cockpit visit is possible, especially if you have kids. 10. If you qualify for early boarding for any reason, tell the gate agent before boarding begins. 11. If your experience was below standard, submit a calm and specific feedback form and ask for service recovery. 12. If your delay is 3 hours or more, ask the gate desk if lounge access is available for affected passengers. None of these cost anything. All of them are available to you right now on your very next flight. The difference between travelers who get these things and travelers who don't is simply knowing to ask. If this video gave you something useful, hit the like button. It takes 1 second and it helps this channel reach more travelers who deserve to know this. Subscribe. If you're not already, I post every 2 days with tips exactly like these, and the next video is already waiting for you. Trust me, you'll want to watch it before your next trip.
Safe travels. See you in the next one.